What's going on, people? We're back again. This time we're talking about the transfer deadline day window or blah blah blah. I'm sorry, I was looking at the screen. Yeah, it's transfer deadline day. Obviously, there's a few transfers happening now. Of course, some of the obvious ones are kind of done in it, but like I'm looking now. Look, Matteo Guendouzi looks like he's going on loan to Hertha Berlin. Arsenal, can they get the Thomas Partey deal done? Obviously, Houssem Aouar, he's not coming to Arsenal. It looks like, well, definitely not this window. It looks like he's on his way to Madrid, but we'll see how it goes. But yeah, it's been an interesting window so far. Glad to see Gareth Bale back in the Premier League, although he's signed for my team's rivals, Tottenham Hotspur, but glad to see him back in the Premier League. You got Thiago's twin brother, Rafinha. He's just signed for Leeds. That's going to be interesting. You've got Ruben going from Wolves to Olympiacos on loan. That's going to, well, of course, Wolves, they got a great team there. But for me, Guendouzi on loan to Berlin. I don't know. Oh, I was staying at Lyon now. Oh, mad. Yeah, I thought he's getting Madrid. Now he's saying he's going Lyon. That's mad because it sounded like he wanted to actually leave. Well, not leave, but I think he was open to going to a different club. But now apparently he's staying at Lyon. That's crazy. Do you think he should have taken a move though? He's young. He's still quite young. I suppose he could have another year or two, or even half a year, because obviously there's the January window. I don't know what's going on with that this year, but generally speaking, I think he should have probably went. Man. Let me just see. Let's see. Let's just see what's the latest, man. Let me see if there's any transfers. Let me I've set up. I think Partey will happen. Yeah, let me give you the link. Yeah, I will send you the link. Did you message me? You messaged me. Yeah. Let me send you the link. I've sent it to you on Instagram. Guys, I've been in such a rush, man. He's young and he should go. Yeah, I think he should go as well. I can't lie. Let me quickly put this on my story, yeah. Yes, guys, if you want to join, actually join my stream, talk. You don't even have to put your face on the stream. Just hit me up. I'll send you the link. Yes, guys, if you want to join, actually join my stream, talk. You don't even have to put your face on the stream. Just hit me up. I'll send you the link. Yes, guys, if you want to join, actually join my stream, talk. But yeah, no, definitely. I think he should go. Give it a try, man. You don't want to just not move and then waste yourself. Well, go on. Yes, money boy. What's going on? Just tired. Finished work not long ago. Knackered, man. But for why not, innit? Transfer deadline day only comes around twice a year. Why not get some stuff done? But anyway, we've got a special guest. What's going on? Oh, I won't be able to hear him. Hello?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, I can hear you now. Sorry, my microphone was plugged in. What's going on, man? Thanks for coming.
Yeah, not a problem, mate. Very excited to be here.
Yeah, nice one, man. Nice one. So what do you think of the transfer window so far?
I'm not going to lie to you. I think one of the biggest disappointments for me is Manchester United. I think looking at this from an outsider, I knew that my club wasn't going to do any business. I knew Donny Rovers were going to wait until the actual transfer deadline in a week or two with the League One clubs. So it was kind of nice to just take a seat back and just see what happens today. But Man United has been one of the biggest disappointments for me. I think that Edison Cavani, Alex Telles, Amad Traore, Ousmane Dembele. I think all four of them, in my opinion, have negatives that come with it. Because Cavani would have been a good signing 5 years ago. Traore is going to come in January, so he's going to be a future winger. He's only 18, so he's going to be behind James and Greenwood. Alex Telles, I think that just pushes people with a Luke Shaw agenda even more. That's going to make Luke Shaw unhappy. And I think with Donny van der Beek, even that they signed already, I think that he not even starting yet. As I think Van der Sar's probably calling Van der Beek's agent, asking if there's a buyback clause in his contract. And then, I mean, looking at the other ones, I mean, Ousmane Dembele, he would have been good if he was signed from Dortmund. I think his injury record has been atrocious.
Fair enough. I want to stick with the Dembele one for a bit. I feel like, well, maybe on paper that's a good signing. You know, obviously he's come from Barcelona. We know what he can offer when he's fit. But obviously his injury, like you said, it's been pretty poor. Also, he had a lot of problems at Barcelona with some senior players as well about his attitude towards training. You know, he was always turning up to training late. He was always, it wasn't really like head on it. You know what I mean? The way that PK was on it or Suarez was on it. I think they had a big problem with him there. So I don't want him to come to Manchester United and think, oh, this is a vacation or a holiday. You know, so I think has that deal been done? I've literally got no information. I've been at work all day. Like, has that deal been done or?
Well, to be fair, all day I've had everything tuned in about Sky Sports, BBC Sport. I've put my notifications on for Fabrizio Romano's Twitter. I've literally stayed tuned to everything, and I do think that even though an agreement has not been reached yet, it's looking very likely it's going to happen with. I think the big thing for me with this one is the fact that it's going to be a loan with potential obligation to buy. But I think Man U, and to be fair, I think people have tweeted about this and people on Twitter have made comments about this. I think they're right. It's gone from a loan, and now the latest it's saying is it's going to be a loan. But United, compared to the last time, have said they're going to pay all of his wages. So Barcelona don't have to pay any kind of penny. And then people said, if that doesn't get accepted, the next thing they'll do is try and buy him for 70 million euros. And you know what? With the United board, I do not blame them because the United board want to make a profit and they want to try and boost shirt sales. And they're going to do that with the likes of Cavani, Telles, Dembele. And people are just going to get sidetracked with the main point, which is the board need to go. And, I think if it's not going to be the 70 million euros complete buy, because I think Dembele doesn't want to really leave Barcelona, even though Barcelona is trying to push him out the door, I do think it's going to be a loan, but Man United pay all of his wages, which, to be honest, that has shocked me to the core because that's just Man United being absolutely pathetic in the transfer window again.
Yo, I like that. No, it does seem like a bit of a buy or panic transfer, because the Sancho deal, they should have known that, okay, this is done now, isn't it? This is not happening. They didn't want to let it go. They've been trying to get him for like how long? Like 3-4 months. You know what I mean? And it would have been obvious that he's not coming. So now to panic get Ousmane Dembele, where he's a man who, like you said, poor injury record. Like I said, he's got a bad. I don't know if this is the one. Staying with Man United, about Cavani. So you think this is a bad buy as well? I think it's a good buy.
You can tell by the shaking of the head, you know my answer. Like I said, Cavani would be a good signing 5 years ago. I just think at 33 with his injury record, and this is the big thing with me. The only club that was interested in Cavani, bearing in mind he's been a free agent for about 6 months, is Benfica. And the only reason they didn't sign him is because no other idiot will pay his wages. And the deal and the talk from this deal, and this leads me into Telles as well. Cavani is accepting a free agent deal. However, the agent fees is 12 million euros. And his wage is going to be about 200 grand a week. Telles immediately was 20 million euros. United wanted 15. They pushed it to 18. They're trying to buy players on the cheap. That's why Dembele is going to be a loan. That's why Traore is coming in January for Euros with add-ons. That's why Cavani's free, and that's why Telles is only 18 million pounds. And to be fair with Telles, he's a good left back, but he's not the priority. With Cavani, the big thing with Cavani for me is he's a leader. I think that's the one quality Cavani brings, and I think that's something that we missed in the Spurs match last night. They need a leader. Harry Maguire is not a leader. He is the fact that he costs more than Bayern Munich starting 11, and he costs more than Van Dijk. That just shocks me to the core. Bayern can't cover himself in glory. Luke Shaw can't cover himself in glory. Neither can Wan-Bissaka. Neither can Lindelof, even though he didn't play last night. But in the past mistakes, he can't cover himself in glory. The midfield, I said from the start of that game, Van der Beek should have started. I said Van der Beek should have started with Bruno Fernandes and Fred because Matic didn't look fit. Pogba didn't look fit. Bruno has to start anyway. And Bruno was probably one of the only shining lights from that match last night. And in the attack, this just gives me a lot of worries with Cavani because, like I said, Cavani would have been a good signing a few years ago. Yeah. So you remember a few years ago, and I just had a notification pop up from Thogden saying Man U should be ashamed as the title of his next video. So that just said the entire story. Cavani 5 years ago, and you imagine Man United 5 years ago, they had Ander Herrera, they had Lukaku, they had all these players. You could have played with Man United 2 target man strikers as a pair in a 4-4-2 or a 4-1-2-1-2. You could have played Lukaku and Cavani. You had 2 target men, both experienced, one Premier League proven, one experienced in Europe, and you got a good blend of mixed target men strikers. Now you're playing with quick forwards, and there's nothing coming from it. Like there's nothing. When you put Cavani into the mix, he might be a leader off the pitch, but on the pitch, his track record has not been great. So you put that with the quick forwards because we haven't got target men at Man United anymore. Lukaku's gone.
No. Yeah, he's gone.
So we've got quick forwards: Rashford, Martial, Greenwood, Daniel James to an extent. You got quick attackers. So when you put a target man in there with a touch like Lukaku's, you can't. It doesn't work. You can't put a quick forward with a target man. It has to be quick forwards or target men, one or the other. And it's I honestly I don't know. And you look at players that have left Man United and done better: Herrera, Lukaku, Ashley Young. That is embarrassing that he's done better at Inter Milan in the United shirt in about 7 years. And that started when he was moved from the winger to the fullback position. He was always a winger. He's never a fullback. So I don't know where they moved that from. But I think they were trying to accommodate Januzaj when we signed Juan Mata. But
I remember. Do you know what though? I feel like with what you're saying about Cavani, I think like you said, he's a leader. I also remember he is at the end of his career, and you've got some players at the beginning of their career or still at the latter stages of the beginning of their career, like Marcus Rashford. But mainly I'm thinking about Greenwood. You know, that's a boy with a lot of talent.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? And you have to protect him at all costs. And someone like Cavani could really teach him a thing or two. Like probably not about finishing. Finishing not the best, but his movement. You know, as a striker, that would definitely help. Of course. That winning mentality. I think I saw a stat earlier where Cavani's won 60 titles in France. He's won a Copa America as well. So it will definitely be. I think it's one of those signings that you make, but not as your main signing. I think that's a signing you need to make. Okay, you get Cavani and I don't know, like a good striker in as well. You get 2 of them in, isn't it? Yeah, I agree with you as well. Like, don't pay him 200,000 a week. Don't give his agent 12 million. Like, he's at the end of his career. He can't pay anything.
It's all over the place, to be perfectly honest. And just while we're saying that, actually, I have Fabrizio Romano's Twitter up right now, and a lot of stuff's come in. So be prepared. This is the Fabrizio Romano section of the show. So 4 hours ago, Amad Traore will join Man United on next January. Here we go. Deal agreed, right, not with Atlanta, but the young talent will arrive in 2021 because of work permit and passport timing. And they'll pay 30 million euros plus add-ons for him. So that's about Traore. Bouna Sarr to Bayern Munich. This was 22 minutes ago. And two arrows, one the opposite way to the other. Mikel Cuisance to OM. So I'm guessing Bouna Sarr is joining Bayern Munich from Marseille, and then Cuisance is going the other way. And of course, he was a Leeds target at some point. The winger merry-go-round that started off this morning has pretty much been completed. So Federico Chiesa, he's gone to Juventus. Douglas Costa and Choupo-Moting has gone to Bayern Munich. And Chiesa's replacement at Fiorentina is Jose Callejon. Originally there was interest from Deulofeu at Watford. He's now going to Udinese instead. So that's a bit of a winger merry-go-round going round that's been completed right now. About half an hour ago, Alex Telles confirmed to be a new Man United player, June 2024, with the option until 2025 June. Announcement in the next few hours. So we're expecting that announcement probably around 7 o'clock with that one. And Ronald Koeman has made a statement. This is about Depay and about Dembele. So this is going to excite Man United fans, maybe. Depending about Ousmane Dembele. So he said to NOS, who's a Spanish news source, we want Memphis Depay at Barcelona, and he wants to join Barcelona too, so that deal could go through. Dembele deal with Man United is key to complete the agreement, so that'll be 25 million plus add-ons in euros for Depay. He's almost ready to be signed if Barcelona sell. So basically, if Dembele goes on loan to Man United, and maybe one more sell will complete the Depay deal. With Barcelona, so I think that's important to get Dembele off the books, but not maybe for Manchester United fans. Couple of other transfer talks here in the last hour. Justin Kluivert has joined Leipzig on a loan to buy option from Roma. Porto are in advanced talks for Felipe Anderson from West Ham United, so work in progress. And Diego Perotti, who you guys may know were in the Premier League a few years ago, he's gone to Fenerbahce. The deal is done and completed in Turkey, and El Shaarawy deal with Roma has just collapsed as well. So a lot going on at the minute from Romano's Twitter.
Wow, and he's not said anything about Thomas Partey.
Nothing about Thomas Partey. The last I saw of it was that Arsenal had approached, from many different sources, have approached the La Liga to say that they want to pay the 45 million release clause, but apparently Atletico were just coming out and saying there's been no agreement, and other sources saying that there has been an agreement. Obviously, Aouar, we know, is not going anywhere. Now he's staying at Lyon. So it's going to be, the window closes at 11 o'clock, so it's going to be an interesting, few hours going into this, because obviously there's still a lot of moves that are still yet to be officially announced that are either still going on. I mean, to be perfectly honest, one of the biggest shocks for me is that Theo Walcott is having a medical for a loan move to Southampton for the rest of the season. One of his the club he was at before Arsenal, which was very interesting. Come full circle.
Yeah, exactly. I think it's interesting what's going on at Everton. Obviously, they're like top of the league.
That guy is doing a better job than Pep Guardiola and Jurgen Klopp combined. It is magical.
It is magic, honestly, man. Moise Kean, he's gone out on loan. I heard
he's gone to Paris Saint-Germain, I believe.
Yeah, PSG. He's gone there, and then you've got Walcott coming out. So I think Calvert-Lewin is on fire right now. Let's not lie.
He's going to be, honestly, him and Harry Kane in the England squad as a striker pair is going to be so dangerous.
So we got to trust
Saka being called up as well. You got Saka being called up on the left wing. He's going to be our wing wizard.
Yeah, Sancho there as well. You've got Rashford in the squad, man. I'm thinking to myself, look, from a club perspective for Everton, I think this is really, really exciting. They're playing good football at the moment. You're offloading some of the people who probably weren't cutting it, Walcott, so they're not even in the camp anymore, out of sight, out of mind. And you've got, Calvert-Lewin, who looks very, very hungry. You know,
Yeah.
good protect him and protect him from injuries and whatnot. And you've got look, James Rodriguez, Ancelotti.
Still can't believe those transfers. Alan from Napoli, Rodriguez, and then Abdoulaye Doucouré. I think he should have stayed in the Premier League anyway. I think the one thing Everton need to sort out if they're going to become a title contender is just that goalkeeper position.
Yeah.
Either make Pickford learn, or if he doesn't learn, out the door, go and join Everton and rot on the bench with Adrian behind Alisson while he's injured. While he's not injured. So. But I'll tell you something now. I think Carlo Ancelotti is doing a really good job with Everton. I think that this whole season so far, we're only 3 or 4 games in, but this season already becoming a real topsy-turvy season when you've got Aston Villa with a game in hand. If they win that, because of how many goals they scored against Liverpool last night, they could go with their game in hand top of the league on goal difference if they win their game in hand. And then Everton can go back top of the league if they win their next game along with Aston Villa. So at the minute, it's Everton and Aston Villa competing for the league with Liverpool and a couple of other teams on 9 points. So at the minute, Everton are 3 points clear, but Aston Villa and that, they really are competing. And, I was a big fan of Aston Villa signing Ross Barkley on loan from Chelsea for the rest of the season. I think that's a big signing for them. And Ollie Watkins, I knew watching the Championship, that guy is going to be a goal machine, and he proved that last night. He was going to score 4 or 5, and I think, to be honest, Aston Villa could have won 10-2 by the end of that game. I think Liverpool's defence were all over the place.
Crazy. Listen, Ollie Watkins has really come from the bottom. I remember, one of my old teammates was he put up a picture of when he played against him in the Conference South, and he said he had him in pockets, and for the guy to come all the way from down there to now, we have to respect that. We definitely have to respect that, man. Let's see a couple comments. Someone told James Rodriguez that this year's Premier League is the World Cup. Big up Bros TV, Aaron Challoner. How's your day been? I'm good, thanks. Still heartbroken from the absolute shambles from Man United, aka the Circle. Yeah, guys, also, look, if you're watching this now or later, please smash the subscribe button for myself and for my guest, Mr. Aaron Challoner. What's your Coaster Chall, isn't it?
Yeah, that's one of them. And then there's the Chall, which is the Doncaster Rovers content. If you look at the videos from last week, I worked with AFTV and they were really kind to work with
me. Yeah. No, listen, I can see where. Look, subscribe, guys. Go and find him. Subscribe. Ciao. No, bro, you're good, man. You're good. Listen,
I'm trying to be a football pundit for Sky and BT and represent the fans and be a fans pundit. So see how it goes.
Keep going, man. Keep going. So we'll quickly finish up because I got to go soon. Yeah. Thank you for coming. Yeah. We'll quickly finish on what do you think have been the top transfers this window then? Loan or permanent?
There's a lot. The reason why I was kind of hesitant to say anything is because I just saw a statement on Ismail Sarr. Yeah. It just came up on Sky Sports from James Cooper. He's just said just a couple of minutes ago there's been talks between United and Watford on who would be keen on a permanent deal to get some money in. If not, maybe a loan with an option to buy. I'm not sure United had Sarr high up on the pecking order when they were chasing Sancho. The noises I'm getting from the club suggest the Sarr deal isn't going to happen. Of course, United have got until next weekend to do business with Watford due to that window staying open longer, but they also have to get players in by tomorrow night in order to register them for the Champions League squad. So it could still happen with Sarr, and if it's going to happen, it'll be next weekend, and it'll be an option to buy loan, or it will be a permanent deal, which, to be honest, Sarr's a good player, but he's not Man United. I'm sorry, he's not Man United.
You don't think so?
No, he's a good player, but come on. I think he was getting bought by Liverpool. He'd be replacing Shaqiri on the bench at best with the players he's got to get in front of. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. He can't start for Manchester United when you're chasing Sancho for 6 months. It's ridiculous.
It's true. You know what? In my opinion, they clearly didn't have a backup plan. They should put one in place after maybe 2 months at the very most of chasing Jadon Sancho, right? If you see it's not gonna work, they're acting like Arsenal. They're reminding of
they're not backing the manager. They haven't got proper football recruiters in charge of recruitment. They've got bankers, and yeah, they're running the club like a business. They're not running like a football club. And to be fair, I actually put a video out about Man United last night, and the title of the video was "I'm glad I'm a Doncaster Rovers supporter. Glazers out, Woodward out." And it was I put that video out to prove that not just Man United fans saying this, ex-players, other football fans are actually being less banterful and saying, you know what, I'm not going to banter them. I'm going to be pure. I'm going to look at it from a neutral point of view and say this isn't good enough. And it's with Arsenal. Why give the manager a chance to build something like Arteta and not back him? Because if you don't get Partey done and you're not getting Aouar done, and Guendouzi's going to get loaned out to Hertha Berlin now, what? And I've seen that tweet about Gunnosaurus. They've released him after 27 years. And actually, this relates to my Coast of Chall stuff because Chessington World Adventures theme park put out on Twitter, we're about to sign Gunnosaurus on a new deal to be one of our new mascots, Chessington. They're taking the mickey out of Arsenal, and it's Kroenke that's done this. Like, honestly, like, why cut costs and remove the best things about a football club and keep a player playing Fortnite for £350,000 a week not even on the bench at all? And I think the Ozil situation has just become too toxic. I think there's no way back for Ozil at Arsenal now, but they're at a crossroads. It's like United and recruitment, they're at a crossroads because they're saying we want to get rid of you. He's saying I'm not going anywhere. I love the lifestyle. I'm earning a wage for nothing. I'm staying here. I'm running down my contracts, and then you're going to have to sign me on a new one. It's just going to end up coming at a crossroads. And back to your earlier point about the best signing of the window.
Yeah.
On the basis of play, I'm going to give it to Everton, and I'm going to say that James Rodriguez is the signing of the window because I think that even though the price tag is not saying the biggest, I think the player and what he's done since he's joined the club has been nothing but magical.
Yeah.
And if I was to make some kind of early season prediction right now, and you probably think I'm going to be absolutely mad, I'm going to predict that at least one or maybe two of Everton and Leicester will finish in the top four. I think Leeds or Wolves will finish in the Europa League. There'll be at least one or two of the top sides. So that's either Man City, Man United, Liverpool, Arsenal, Chelsea, Spurs. At least two of those six will finish outside of Europe. You can guess which ones. And I think one of those big sides could be in a relegation battle. You can understand which one I'm talking about. Yeah, you can try and guess between those two. But I think Jose Mourinho... Can we just talk a little bit about Tottenham quickly? Jose Mourinho, where has that tiki-taka football come since Chelsea? Where has it come from? He's got the perfect backing from Daniel Levy now, and he's brought in Gareth Bale and Reguilon, coincidentally United targets. He brought in Højbjerg. This is how embarrassing Man United have got. Their squad, that one defender costs more than Bayern Munich starting 11, and they're getting beat 6-1 and the best midfielder on the pitch for them was a midfielder from Southampton.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that's any disrespect to Højbjerg, but he did need a better squad around him because he was good at Southampton. He was absolutely running that midfield with Hassan Huttl, and they're trying to do better to replace him. But Højbjerg from Southampton, and yet Maguire from Leicester, Popper from Juventus, Martial from Monaco, De Gea from Atletico Madrid, Bailly from Villarreal, Wan-Bissaka from Crystal Palace. None of these players for between 20 to 80 million pounds cannot beat Højbjerg and can't beat Son from Leverkusen and can't beat Harry Kane that was loaned out to lower league clubs a few years ago before he absolutely broke into the Premier League.
Yeah.
You players, honestly, Man U's defence is worse than Fulham's, and that's not being overreactive. That's telling the truth. The stats in the defence are just as bad as Fulham's at the minute. And to be fair, Fulham's attack is probably doing better than Man United's because Man United lost convincingly to Palace, won by a 100th minute penalty, which probably shouldn't have been. It was a penalty, but it was in the 100th minute, and it shouldn't have been given as 100 minutes. So Brighton were outdone by that. And then they got smashed 6-1 last night by Spurs. 3 games, 2 losses and a win. That says to me that they weren't prepared going into this season. The Europa League and the Champions League didn't help because, of course, they were getting, not much time to prepare with training, etc. So they didn't have full fit players. I said in the Luton game and in the EFL Cup, the Carabao Cup, I said they should have played the first team to give them more minutes and give them more fitness and run out. But they didn't do that. They played some of the academy players, and then players like McTominay came in and did poor in the league. So with the board not backing the manager, and this is kind of like the definitive point about Man United, if they don't have a board that backs the manager and recruits that don't know football and just know money, not only are Man United not prepared for this season, and I'll be speaking about this to someone today, I think Ole Gunnar Solskjaer will be out by Christmas, but it's not going to be Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's fault. He's either going to get sacked or he's going to go off his own accord because he doesn't want to run for this board anymore. And you know what's going to happen? It's going to be that whole cycle again with the Glazers. They're going to bring in someone like Pochettino. The fans are going to forget about, protesting for the Glazers out. They're going to focus on, Pochettino, let's buy the new shirt sales. Let's get Pochettino's branded water bottle. Let's get Pochettino caps and snapbacks. And then in a couple of years, if they get second or third or fourth in the first full season under Poch, he won't get backed, and then Pochettino will get sacked and replace, I don't know, maybe Poch goes in at Barcelona if Koeman's not working out at Barcelona with the players he's got, and the rebuilding build. So Pochettino will go in at Barcelona and become one of the biggest managers. Or if Man City don't get top four and sack Pep, then Pep will go to Barca, Poch will go in at City, and United will be stuck with Michael Carrick next season as manager, which I don't see this club going anywhere. I think unless you get someone like Wayne Rooney or Edwin van der Sar as director of football, someone who knows the club, then Man U are just going to keep going down and down and down. And to be honest, Donny Rovers fans, let's face Old Trafford next season in the Championship. Let's go up, they go down.
I did. I'm going to quickly put on someone else as well to join us right now. Let me just get him on. Salarr. Let me add him to the stream. Salarr, hello.
Yo, broads.
What's going on, man? You right?
I'm good. How are you?
You're good, man. This is Aaron as well, man. Chall.
Hello, Aaron.
You've been going in. Man. So, Thomas Partey's allegedly done. He's coming great, of the best midfielder in the world. Great signing. Great. Big up yourself, guys. Big up yourself, Adrian Anderson. Salah, what do you think of this deal?
Thomas Partey.
Yeah.
He's a good player. Like, I think it'll give Ceballos more freedom. Like, Partey can do the dirty work. Like, Xhaka backs out tackles. Like, Partey is great to do that. Like, I think it's a good signing. But I'm not an Arsenal fan, but I'm confused why you lot have left it late. Because there have been reports that if you miss out on it, it's going to be paper. Like, you'll be missing out on paperwork. If you had the whole summer to pay that 50, so why do it on deadline day? So if the deal don't go through, you can only blame it on yourselves, to be honest.
Yeah, agreed. I think, look, personally, it's similar to what Manchester United have done with Jadon Sancho. If you see a deal's not really getting off the ground, you need a backup plan. You cannot be chasing one player and putting all your eggs in one basket, and then when it doesn't work out, you're like, oh, sorry, guys, we tried. But sometimes I feel like these boards do it just to show their fans that they did try, quote unquote, but they actually didn't. And they don't want to spend the money. They don't want to do anything because it's just a business. What do you think, Aaron?
Well, to be fair, when saying that, I just saw this funny tweet from Goldbridge that's come out about United Cavani, saying United giving Cavani the number 7 shirt instead of Sancho is like getting a past-it Madonna to do the Super Bowl instead of prime Beyonce. That pretty much explains it to me. Originally, I was going back on Twitter to find some confirmation on Partey because I want to see if it's actually been confirmed online or not. But Bakayoko has joined Napoli from Chelsea online. Yeah, Thomas Partey.
Fabrizio Romano was like, there's no fee agreed. Like the fee release clause has been activated. So different journalists have this.
Okay. All right. So
waiting for that Liverpool keeper. Like, I'm a Liverpool fan, so I want Adrian out of my club. There's been rumors that that's a nigga from Tottenham. You might. Oh no, there's still 5 hours left. Let's see.
I mean, Gazaniga would be probably a better backup option than Adrian, to be honest. But speaking on Partey, yeah, I think that one big thing I noticed from the Sheffield United game yesterday with Arsenal was the backbone. I think Ceballos can get more freedom with Partey. I think that Granit Xhaka, don't get me wrong, he's a great player. I've forgiven him for what he did, last season. Well, this season, actually. It's gone past it this season. This past season, but you kind of forget about it. But I think that what Xhaka did was unforgivable. He's been dropped to the captain's armband. Fair enough. He's apologised. We all move on. We do things we don't like. Obviously, remember Gallas back in 08-09 when he was criticising his teammates and they gave the captain's armband to Cesc Fabregas. But Partey, I think he's the perfect holding midfielder. If you're playing like a 4-3-3 and you're having the two wingers and the striker and the midfield, whether you're having a holding midfielder and two attacking playmakers in front, I think Xhaka would either be a perfect backup to Partey, or if you could play him a little further forward as like a deep playmaker, and then you have your attacking playmaker in Ceballos in front of Partey as well. That is the perfect midfield. Then you have like your Willock and things like that as backup to all three of them. So Partey will be a good, experienced defensive holding midfielder to give that team some backbone, because that was one of the big things I noticed about Arsenal last night. Yeah. And to be honest, that's the only position they really need to fill, apart from making the bench a bit stronger, because apart from Partey, I've just got a notification from Arsenal and I was wondering, is it Partey? No, it's just Guendouzi confirmed to Hertz Berlin on loan. But because I've got the Arsenal app. But now they've got Partey, well, we could be getting Partey. That's the only main position for the first team they've had to fill, because they've got Leno, good goalkeeper, good backup keeper in Runnison. Gabriel is a wonderful centre-back. They've only conceded 2 or 3 goals since he's been in the team, which is amazing stats. You know the difference he's making in that defence. Yeah. Partey coming in, good backbone with Ceballos and Xhaka. On the wings and the attack, you've got Aubameyang, Lacazette, Pepe, Willian, and Nketiah, who's trying to break out into the side. Saka, who's one of the future world-class talents from England, in my opinion. And you've even got the loanees, the people that have been loaned out to clubs that are going to be coming into this first team in the next couple of years. John Jules at Doncaster. I was chatting with Robbie about this last week on the channel. He told me he's an exciting talent, and I knew he was an exciting talent. So you got John Jules possibly coming in as a future striker with Nketiah when Aubameyang and Lacazette retires. So you've got players coming in ready, willing, and able in the future. So I think that the defensive midfield, apart from making the bench stronger, which they have done with Runnison, because Martinez went, and he was doing incredibly well for Villa last night. Sorry, Liverpool fans. I definitely think
we were awful.
Go again.
We were awful yesterday.
Yeah, I think the defense for Liverpool definitely let them down. I think Aston Villa's attack was just too ruthless. But no.
Not paid too much of a high line. I think he should have told the high line to drop at time. But Aston Villa did good. It's because I think what Dean Smith told Barkley to do was just stay on the shoulder of Gomez. He knows Gomez is weak, not the best defender. He was like to Barkley and Grealish. He tried to play onside, and they did it good. They had a lot. They could have made it. If I'm being honest, awful. Salah was our only career, and Firmino. This is why I regret not signing Timo Werner. It's because Timo Werner can undercut Timo Werner would have been a threat. They're both chemistry. He can left and he can also play up top, and he's a goal scorer, which Firmino lacks. But we got Jota, but I wasn't convinced by Jota's performance. This is like third game.
Yeah, I think the absence of Mane and Alisson's definitely affected the Liverpool squad, in my opinion. I mean, best wishes to Sadio Mane from all of us. I hope you get well soon, mate. Obviously tested positive for coronavirus, so he is isolating for a couple of weeks. So all the best wishes to Sadio Mane if he ends up finding this. Alisson, hope you recover from your shoulder injury, pal. But I did think with those two absences, I think that Liverpool did lack. But speaking about those bench options again at Arsenal, and this compares to Liverpool actually, because I think this is something that I've noticed about Liverpool in the transfer window, and this is like the pattern I've noticed with title winners. You've noticed this with Roberto Mancini when he won with Man City. You've noticed this with Mourinho and Conte, and at Chelsea when they won the title the season afterwards. They haven't strengthened, well, the owners don't strengthen heavily in the summer after they've won the title. And that was the big thing I noticed with Jurgen Klopp as well. I think that before Jota came in, the big thing they only signed was like a left back that was probably third choice, in my opinion, from Greece. So I think with a champion, the big thing you got to do is just keep strengthening, make it stronger. And I think that was one of the big things they needed to do. And I don't think to an extent they've really done that. So that allows teams like Everton's and your Villas to keep strengthening in the right areas, in the right way to push forward. And speaking about Arsenal's bench, I think that when Martinez went, Runnison came in to be a backup goalkeeper to Leno. He knew his place. He knew what he needed to do. I think he's going to come in and do that. I think he's a good goalkeeper. I've seen highlights of him in the French league when I've had time to watch the French league. And I've seen highlights of him. He's a really good goalkeeper. He can make the brilliant saves. So I think that he's going to be fantastic this season in the Cup for Arsenal in the early rounds. And you look at the other bench players. I mean, you've got players like Mustafi that doesn't really get first-team football much anymore. You know, there was talk this transfer window whether Saliba was going to get loaned out. But no, I think that Arsenal's definitely strengthened in the first team, especially if they get Partey in at the last minute in these last few hours. And just speaking again about Manchester United, this is where they're going to learn from other teams now, because Arsenal have strengthened the first team and the bench. Spurs, Liverpool to an extent, Chelsea definitely. If they don't get top four, they've screwed it big time. Yeah. Man City, if they don't get top four, they've screwed it big time. And Man United seem to be the only big club to not strengthen. I think even West Brom strengthened. They brought in Diangana, who's a good young talent. They brought in Pereira on a permanent deal, who's a playmaking genius. Sheffield United, now they've spent £20 million on a backup Liverpool striker and Ryan Brewster, who, you know, is a good future talent.
Yeah, I think, well, yeah, let's quickly stick with a Liverpool question then. And we'll talk about Liverpool just a little bit more before we go on to Spurs. But what goalkeeper would be good for Liverpool, Adrian or Karius?
For me, I would have liked to keep Karius. I think I don't understand. A lot of Liverpool fans and a lot of people base Karius off that one final in 20. He was decent that season. He had half a season. Him and Minion fouled it. He had that one mistake where his career got ruined, but I think his confidence got shattered, like, because he knew, like, he made one mistake, that's it. Get hated. And as with Adrian, I have no words. I just don't. He doesn't know what he's doing. Have you seen that video of him yesterday where Ollie Watkins hits a crossbar and he's just running? But if I had a backup keeper, I would like a keeper. But it's hard. We don't know. It's because we've been stingy with our money. All our transfers have been installments. 5 million a year for Thiago, 4 million this year for Jota. But do you know the championship deadline? The League 2 and League 1? That's until the 18th of October. And I was thinking, Jack Butland or Ben would be that would be decent as well.
Yeah, I think so. Sorry, carry on.
If we cannot get Gazzaniga because of the deadline today, I'll take Ben Foster until the 16th because that transfer window.
Not bad shout at all. I think maybe Liverpool missed the trick by not going in for Martinez when he made it clear that he would be available as well. What do you think, Aaron? What do you think of Liverpool? This question here.
It's a tough one for me. I'm not going to lie. It's a tough one between the two because they both made, incredible mistakes. It's hard because, I think I don't think Adrian to Liverpool was the right move. I was slightly distracted because I've just seen a picture of Guendouzi with a Hertz of Berlin shirt. He's wearing the number 8 for those interested. So I think with Adrian, I don't know how you feel, Salarr, but I think with Adrian to Liverpool, I felt like that move was just hype. I think he was doing so good at West Ham. I think that he made the big move too early. I think even though his age doesn't tell it, I think that he made the big move to a big club way too soon. I think the hype was just too much. Karius, I think after the Champions League a couple of years ago, I think he never recovered. So he needs to go. He needs to go somewhere where his career benefits, somewhere like someone who's going to finish mid-table in Premier League or fight for relegation. Someone like a West Brom or a Fulham or somewhere like that. But of course, Fulham have got Areola on loan from PSG, so they're not going to want to look for another one. But I think between the two, I would rather have Adrian. I think that Karius' mistakes in the Champions League and past mistakes before that have I think it's just pushed him out the door. I think that 2-year loan to Besiktas tried to make him reinvent his career, but I think Karius and Liverpool with that connection, even though he wants to fight for a place. And I love the fight. I love that he wants to fight for his place, but I don't think Karius and Liverpool as a connection can be fixed after the Champions League a couple of years ago. I think that door is just shut and the boat is just sailed. It's like Massimiliano Allegri managing the Premier League. I think that boat sailed with a couple of clubs. So I think that I think I'd rather pick Adrian, to be honest, to be back up to Alisson. But like Salarr was saying, I think Gazzaniga would be a good shout. I think they missed out on Martinez big time from Arsenal, but I think Arsenal might not want to sell to a big top club rival. I think Aston Villa is probably the destination in the end, and I think it's the right decision, to be honest. But I would rather have Adrian. I think Karius just got too many mistakes compared to Adrian.
Wait, I got quick news. Wait, can I quickly talk?
Yeah, of course you can.
Yeah, I've just seen fee has been agreed with Gazzaniga. It's not like you had those insiders saying a 12 million buy option for 1 season loan, and oh no, let's see. There's still 5 hours left.
Wait, so which player is this and what club is it for?
Yeah, I couldn't hear you.
12 million buying option and one on a season-long loan.
To where?
To Liverpool.
Oh, to Liverpool.
Who's the name again?
Paula Casaniga.
All right, okay. So to be fair, I think that pushes Adrian and Karius out the door because I think Gazzaniga is the perfect backup keeper. I'm not saying Adrian and Karius are bad keepers because before Liverpool, Adrian at West Ham was an absolute superstar, and Karius at his former club, I can't remember exactly, before Liverpool, was a superstar. And, he was doing well in the Bund. I remember Karius being one of the top keepers in the young age in the Bundesliga. He was a brilliant keeper in the Bundesliga. So he's got that quality in him. It's just Liverpool mistakes and Besiktas loanee that's just rushed it out of him. So I think both of them need permanent moves, whether it's Adrian back to West Ham or Karius to a League One club in France. I don't care. Both of them need the move elsewhere just to get their spirit back and their football back. Gazzaniga, now whether this is true or not, we don't know. I mean, it could be this option to buy on the season-long loan from Tottenham, and I think that would make sense because they've got Hugo Lloris, they've got Joe Hart, they've got young keepers like Alfie Whiteman and Benjamin Austin. So they're going to be, they're going to have that option anyway. So I think that Gazzaniga going could be the better for Spurs. And I think that a backup keeper to Liverpool would push Gazzaniga. I think it's done the opposite to Adrian and Karius, but I think with Gazzaniga, I think this would do him a world of good. I think he's going to prove himself while Alisson's injured. I'm not too sure how long Alisson's injured with a shoulder injury. I'm not too sure how long it is, but however long it is,
2 months max.
I think 2 months max. So I think that in this couple of months, if Gazzaniga signs by the end of today, I think Gazzaniga's got that 2 months. That's the deadline for Gazzaniga. 2 months to prove himself as a Liverpool goalkeeper. Because if he proves himself in 2 months, Alisson comes back, is a little rusty, and he continues to be rusty for the next year or so, you could see Gazzaniga becoming a permanent keeper, and you could see maybe Alisson becoming back up, and it's only going to be a matter of time before Alisson goes out the door.
Yeah, you never know. Look, so sticking with the the Gazzaniga topic, right?
Yeah.
He's obviously come from Spurs, and Spurs have brought in Joe Hart. What do you think of that?
I think that was you always have that player that you want that leads the dressing room.
Yeah.
I think he was on a free and they've seen him. But I think like this, they could have known that Gazzaniga was leaving. Like they could have known it at the start that he was, and they had brought in Joe Hart. But Joe Hart's a good, like, he could be a role team. Like, yeah, for free, it's not a bad.
So, 4-3 is not bad. Yeah, it's not bad. So yeah, yeah, no lie. What about yourself, Aaron?
I think it's like Casino Royale. I think it's completely a gamble. I think it's that scene in Casino Royale. It's very much a gamble. Joe Hart, when Man City first won the league for the first time in 40 years, was the best keeper in this league. By no question of a doubt under Roberto Mancini. He was performing like a world top goalkeeper. And I think when the game, and this is the big thing with me, with players like Rooney, with players like Vidic, as years go by and the game evolutionizes or revolutionizes with faster players, more skillful players, better defenders, more agile defenders, and more quicker defenders. As the game's moved on, I think Joe Hart hasn't moved on with it. I think he's still become the same kind of goalkeeper, but I think the game's moved on and we're looking for more of a modern goalkeeper, which some of them have morphed into and some of them have had to work round. With Joe Hart, I think his time at Man City was up at the time it was. I knew that. We all knew that. And I think the mistakes that he made in the final years at Man City have cost him. So I'm hoping he can recuperate his career. If not, I don't see him staying at Spurs for much longer. I mean, who knows? He could be back to playing in a Birmingham shirt for all we know. But maybe in his veteran years, because I know Birmingham have like a history of signing veteran goalkeepers. I know they've got David Stockdale this year, but Joe Hart could go back to a Birmingham shirt if he does not prove himself, and that could be his only option, in my opinion, because it's all down to what he does in the Tottenham shirt with the games he's got. I think if Lewis gets injured or whatever games he plays, he's got to make sure he has a near perfect game. If he doesn't, the slightest error that could be prevented, Mourinho won't have it. Mourinho's one of those managers that will not have it. Remember that bust up with Dele Alli and Endon Bele and Danny Rose? Danny Rose, he's going on loan probably somewhere in Europe. Endon Bele, they've made up and braided each other's hair now. Ali looks like he's going nowhere, so they've made up and they're starting to braid each other's ponytails now. So Mourinho is a man who will take no flack. I mean, you've got to look at us and you look at people just sitting back with a 350k wage in his pocket doing nothing. He couldn't do that at Real Madrid a few years ago because he had Mourinho in charge, because he knew one mistake, he was out the door, and there was players in there, young, fresh attacking players that would take his place and would make it hard for Ozil to get back into that team. So if Joe Hart does not prove himself, Mourinho's the kind of man that will not forgive, and he will put either Austin or Whiteman, one of the young keepers, as backup option if Gazaniga goes to Liverpool. He won't take anything from Joe Hart. He'll be like, one mistake and you're out the door, pal.
Yeah, no, this comment is gonna basically influence what I say as well. Look, in my opinion, the Joe Hart signing was very the Cavani signing. They have a lot of experience to help younger players, and also they still have it in to fill in for injuries and things like that. And that's what I think Joe Hart is. He's a stopgap. You know what I mean? He's there until maybe a better keeper's available. Jose Mourinho, when you bring him in, you must have this conversation that I need funds. You know what I mean? I can't be trying to promote youth and whatnot. Like, yes, he does promote youth. Let's not lie. He does promote youth. But it's not as obvious as when he brings in a big name player, because Jose is a man who can handle the big name signings. But I think with Joe Hart, we spoke about mentality on this channel not long ago, right? We had a live stream, right? And I think with Joe Hart, that's what lets him down. I think he amped himself up too much. And then that's remember when he used to make those mistakes for England and Manchester City, and then he went from top keeper. I remember he worked so hard when he went down to Birmingham. Even from when he was at Birmingham, probably one of the best keepers in the country, if not the world, at the time. And then, like you said, going to best team in the league by far.
Absolutely.
But, you know what I mean? But he has characteristic in him where he gets too hyped, and he just makes silly mistakes. I think, come on, Joe.
Yeah. First of all, Niall, thank you for putting that comment in because it's a good debate. I do see, the similarities with Cavani. And I said this before. I said this just a little while ago on here. I said about Cavani, he is 33. He would have been a good signing 5 years ago with the right tactics and the right players already in that squad 5 years ago. Playing with Lukaku as 2 target man strikers. Joe Hart is just a stopgap signing. I hope that the thinking behind this is they're just bringing him in for a year or two, just while they develop some youth keepers into world-class players behind the scenes in the youth academy. That's my sort of prayer with this, because I know Mourinho isn't afraid to use youth players. I know he's using. I mean, Tanganga, a youth defender. He's getting times. Foyth is a youth defender. He would have been sold by now. He's 22 years old. He would have been sold by now. He's gone on loan instead. He's going to get used at some point. Tangana, he's going to get used at some point. He's going to be incredible, next season. So Mourinho isn't afraid to use youth, and that's why I say if Joe Hart makes one big mistake that can be preventable, Mourinho won't take it. He's out the door, and he's going to use that as a 1-2 year stopgap, like you said, to bring in a youth goalkeeper behind the scenes in the academy with so much potential that could potentially take over Lloris in the next few years. I think this is just a 1-2 year stop on the future of Tottenham. And I think Tottenham will win a trophy this year.
Yeah, I think so. Because Mourinho is the man that can guide you to it, It looks like Arsenal might not be the cup, because we're always winning these little cups now, innit? FA Cup or we might not be the cup team. So just want to finish with Chelsea because I do have to go. But listen, guys, thank you very much. You've been really good. Nice. Chelsea, they've had a very, very interesting window, in my opinion, from front to back. Chat to me, Salarr.
I think Chelsea, my only problem with Chelsea, Frank Lampard's not good enough. I don't think he's good enough to lead Chelsea to the next level. Chelsea, they're very impatient with managers. You saw it with Conte, you saw it with Sarr, you saw it with Mourinho in 2003, 2004. He's got the money now. And Roman's definitely thinking if he does not get top 2 this season, he's gone. What is he? He's paid 200 mil. And this is where they've gone wrong in the signing. They want to bring in Declan Rice as CDM to play at centre back. You signed a 36-year-old for free. He's he used to be world class in his prime, but you've improved every position except your centre back, and you want to do top 2. You saw Liverpool without Van Dijk, they were 4th. Van Dijk came in and they took them to 2nd, only to finish 1 point behind C for 1st. They should have signed that Koulibaly or like a Diego Carlos, and I think they would have been title contenders. But you saw it against Liverpool as well. Frank's man management was not the best that game, and you saw it with West Brom. Like the changes he made was too late. They could have won that game if he had made those changes earlier. That was all down to the manager. He's a decent young manager, but I think if Chelsea want to win the league again and get back to the glory days, they need a new, better manager. That's my opinion on it.
Oh, fair enough. Aaron, that's a good one. Nice one, Salarr. Aaron, what do you think?
See, I'm a bit stuck on this, to be perfectly honest, because don't get me wrong, in terms of the recruitment before the season started, top notch. I can't fault the recruitment. Abramovich might have his critics, but he's gone out and backed Lampard. He's a Chelsea legend. He needed backing. He's gone and backed him. They had that transfer embargo. That's the one club you could sort of, excuse them about the pandemic and the spending and etc. because they got money from the transfer bans in the last couple of years. But to be fair, other clubs can't be exactly blamed from a pandemic. Man U and Arsenal will still spend money. But Chelsea have gone out and they've gone and sorted out exactly what they needed. They needed a world-class striker to bring more attacking threat up front. Werner. They needed more stuff behind the strikers. Ziyech, Havertz. They needed better defenders. Chilwell, the experience of Thiago Silva. And they needed a brand new goalkeeper because they've got a clown in between the sticks called Kepa Arrizabalaga. And they brought in Aouar, who showed some fantastic signs in French league. Kepa, the world's most expensive goalkeeper. That and QPR's relegation proved that money isn't everything. So, I mean, the only thing Chelsea really need to do now is, one, get Kepa off the wage book, and two, get the league position better. I think it's just the results. And don't get me wrong, teams like West Brom, they're fighting. They're fighting. They fought for that 3-0 win in the first half. Chelsea fought it back, got the comeback. But Chelsea fans were not praising Chelsea for that comeback. Some were, some weren't. That just says the mentality of the fans. They and the club, they expect nothing but greatness. And even the comeback 3-0 to 3-3 against West Brom is not good enough.
No.
And I think that the signings they brought in resonates a title challenge, in my opinion. And don't get me wrong, you're a Liverpool fan, Salarr. I don't mean to any disrespect by it. But I think after yesterday's defeat, if they don't fix up, you could be competing for a top 4 race, not a title race. And I think it could be the Merseyside rivals that's going after their first Premier League title. And I know it hurts to say that, but I know it hurts me. Sorry, go on.
I think that's a wake-up call for, we have after the international break, we have Everton. That's a really hard game.
That's going to be the big years.
What I think by then we'll have all our players back. Thiago will be back, Mane will be back. I want Fabinho to play centre back. You saw how he pocketed Werner. Werner had no opportunities against us, about 1 or 2. Fabinho took Werner out of the game. He took the whole left side out of the game. He can do that against Richarlison or James. Maybe not James because he's more of a creator. Guys, I've just got in. Fabrizio Romano, Thomas Partey is now flying to London.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Oh,
Wow.
Wow.
I just got the notification.
There's going to be an Emirates statue outside the Emirates Stadium now.
Wow.
I want to expand on that Chelsea point again.
Yeah.
Just quick, to a bit starstruck by that, to be honest. This is going to be a good transfer video tomorrow.
Yeah, definitely.
With Chelsea, and I know, like I said, it hurts for you to hear that, so that I think Everton could be a title contender and Liverpool, if they're not careful, could be in the top 4. But I agree with you. I think Fabinho at centre-back could be a good filler option if Joe Gomez gets injured or Van Dijk gets injured or if either of them are out of form after the next couple of games and they need benching. And like you said, this Merseyside derby is going to be the biggest one in decades because you've got champions against title contenders. Yeah. That is how big it is. And back in the day, it was Manchester and London back in the 2000s and 2010s that were dominating the title race. I think whether you're a Liverpool fan or an Everton fan, I would be very excited because I think the 2020s is all about the Merseyside. I think Liverpool and Everton are going to challenge for the title this year on current form. And I think
City.
No, City.
No,
I think if you get 3rd or 4th, and if they get outside the top 4, Guardiola's going to Barcelona next season. I think that Liverpool and Everton will challenge the title this year. And you know what? There's one other Merseyside side in the English Football League that I need to mention that I think could do some big stuff. I think Tranmere Rovers could be getting closer and closer to the top, the higher tiers from levels higher than levels 3 and 4. I think Tranmere Rovers could do that with the stadium they've got.
Yeah, 20,000 seater, isn't it?
Like 16 to 18,000 capacity stadium, which is bigger than the Keep. It's bigger than a couple of the Premier League stadiums. So, Tranmere could do something. And I think that this decade could be the decade of the Merseyside. And speaking about Chelsea, if they do not get top 3 or top 4, there is... Well, I hate to say the word sack because I think last year I said that Frank Lampard, with the right backing and the right results and the right trophies to go with it in Europe and in England, Frank Lampard could have been Chelsea's Alex Ferguson. But if he doesn't get top 3 or top 4 this year, he is out the door because he's been backed, he's been given the funds, he's been given the world-class players. If they can't play the right way and they don't get into the top 4 ahead of Arsenal, ahead of Spurs, ahead of Man City, ahead of Liverpool, ahead of Everton, ahead of Leicester. If they do not get in the top 4, Lampard's out the door. And I tell you what, to get Man U getting Poch in, I think Chelsea could be looking at Pochettino to re-galvanise that squad because he's got...
I think...
It's like he had at Spurs. I'm just going to say, it's like he had at Spurs. He had the experienced world-class options in there and he had the youth players. That's what he's got at Chelsea to work with next season.
The one manager that will take Chelsea to the next level? Julian Nagelsmann. I'm saying it right now. Julian Nagelsmann. He's worked with Timo Werner, and he's got the best out of Timo Werner. He knows how Havertz plays. The way he sets his defensive structure is great. Like, it's like seeing Mourinho in his prime. He knows what he's doing at such a young age. He's like, 32 years old. He's such a good coach. He took RB Leipzig to the semi-final against all odds, beat Atletico Madrid, Diego Simeone. He did great. So if Chelsea can get Julian Nagelsmann, or if they sack Lampard, I think they'll be a serious team. They could challenge for the league a lot of times.
Absolutely agree, and I think that if we could pick a top 3 for managerial contenders, I would say it's between Leipzig's manager Nagelsmann and I'd say Pochettino's in there. And you know what? I might be a bit ballsy to Tottenham fans, but I think if Mourinho doesn't get the backing next season from Tottenham, who's to say third time's the charm? At Chelsea, who could say it's not third time's the charm? And I think with that tic-tac of football he's playing at Tottenham, with the youth options he's got and the players he's now got at Chelsea, there's no doubt why Mourinho couldn't come back into that Chelsea trophy train.
100%. Lads, listen, it's been really, really good. I might come back. I've got to go do a few things like training and a meeting, but I might come back on around maybe 10. If you lot are up for it, it's been really good. Message me anyway. You know what I mean? We'll talk.
We can stay like window closes and then see what happens, and then sort of summarize everything after the window closes at 11.
Yeah. I'm down to do that. I'm down to do that.
You know what I mean? We'll try and get it done. I'm not guaranteeing anything just yet, but we'll try and get it done. But listen, lads, thank you very much. Where can they find you, Salarr? Instagram, YouTube, do you do anything? Hello?
No. Wait. I run a page on Instagram. That's it.
Okay. What's that? Or do you wanna put the comment? Or do you want me to shout it out?
I'll just comment it.
Yeah.
It's called Footy News.
Footy News, nice one. And Aaron?
Footy News.lads.
Nice one.
.lads.
.lads, yeah. I'll put comment and I'll put it on the screen. And Aaron, yourself?
I do have 2 YouTube channels, but the one I want you guys to subscribe to the most right now is Chall. Basically, it's mainly content about my beloved Doncaster Rovers, future Premier League club, under Darren Moore. And I do cover other things in football as well. I covered with Manchester United last night, and I'll cover a transfer deadline summary tomorrow morning, hopefully. So that'll all be out. And I also have my Instagram at Aaron Challoner Official, Twitter at Aaron_Challoner, and Facebook Aaron Challoner, and of course my TikTok, which is of course I think it's Coast_Chall, but I'll have to double check that.
Definitely, guys. If you're watching it now or watching it later, go follow these two up. It's been brilliant. Oh, he's put in the private chat. Don't worry, Salah. I'll get you. I'll get you. I think 1 minute. Let me put it on there before we go. But yeah, no, lads. Listen, thank you very much.
I can't do it in the comments. It doesn't let me.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna do it. Yeah, but lads, thank you very much. It's been brilliant speaking to you lot. First time I've had anyone on the channel, so you know what I mean. You've definitely set the bar high.
Brilliant. I've got my Twitter on for the rest of the afternoon, so I'm going to be staying anyway.
Yeah, definitely. No, enjoy, lads. Yeah, thanks a lot for coming on. All right.
Enjoy. See you later.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Take care. Bye. Yo, 2 brilliant guys, man. Thank you for coming on. Let me just put. Obviously, you just heard Aaron's socials there. I'm just gonna put Salar's socials in there. 2 brilliant guys. Let me just put this here. Yeah, guys, listen, comment below if you want to see more people come on the channel. Of course, you know, you don't want to see my face all the time, innit? But yeah, guys, we're gonna be trying to do more live streams. Try and do more like just normal videos as well, like I was doing before. It is a bit difficult because obviously I'm a lot busier now, but listen, comment below whatever you want to see. If you're watching it now or if you're watching it later, please smash the like button. Also smash the subscribe button as well. We are on the road to 1,000 subscribers on YouTube. Also, you can follow me at my Instagram and my Twitter and my TikTok. It's all JBroads. I'm just going to put it here now as well. You know, feel free to DM me or whatever. And guys, listen, thank you for watching. W's on. Ooh, yo, that's my cue to go. See you later. Take it.